There's not much light here. I'm in the dark right now, hanging out. Did some meditation, took some notes here. I've gone over some emails, which is why I picked this topic for today. I've been getting a lot of emails and a lot of comments in the comment section about women who are like, I feel like I'm the the karmic, that's what they're saying. Hi, this JG. And I'm getting a lot of them recently, whereas before there was a lot more strength and certainty. Women were like, I'm the divine feminine. And I think because of the amount of time and the amount, I'll tell you why. I did my work on it. So this is why people are feeling like they are the karmic now. And to be honest, I brought it up the other day during a reading. I said, I can see that some divine feminines, this was before I really thought I need to do a video on this. Some divine feminines are thinking you're the karmic and you're not. And that was the message I got at that time. But as I sit here and I ponder and I take notes about this, I do know that every situation is karmic in its own way. And my belief in the way that it works is almost like you're given a situation to learn from, but you're supposed to take the best steps you can, the best steps you're guided to. So let's just say, for example, you meet this person and you're sure this is your other half. You just have this you just recognize each other, this recognition, right? And I do believe that twin flames are actually of the light energy. So it's not supposed to be some crazy abusive relationship. I don't believe that personally. So anyways, you meet someone and you're given everything, the opportunity, you see each other. Really what should happen at that place is people should be taking the guided steps, which, let's just say for the masculine might be oh my God, my heart, let me really see how I can leave and actually leave. And then on the woman's side, I'm just using this as an example, but the woman should be okay, my heart too, right? And you give it a minute and you get to know this person. And if he's in a situation with someone else and he says he's going to leave, okay, you give him a moment to do that. But once he doesn't do that, and once you keep on sticking around there, and once things just get dirty, in a sense, you can put it, right? You get hurt. Hurt is the dirty part. It gets messy. And a lot of the divine feminine, instead of truly, truly walking away, a lot of you didn't. And for those of you that did, bravo. I mean, that's perfect. That's beautiful. But then there comes this other step where, are you happy? Or are you still thinking about what you didn't do or what you don't have? Are you still watching this karmic and seeing what's showing up there on their social media or whatever it may be? Are you putting yourself around their situations so you can get any sort of information, feeding that desire or that desperateness is what I just got. And that's the problem. So it's not that who's a karmic, who's not a karmic. There's way too many labels that are being used because technically I do really believe we're all karmic in one way, but by following some simple life rules and listening to your guides, you can kind of get the situation you want. But it's so easy when you're in love with someone to just be no, okay, next time they'll be better, or I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, or every time I see them, my heart melts and I can't say no, or but that's not learning anything. So I think that, the reason that we're brought into this twin energy is to learn more than anything. If we're sticking around, staying stagnant in the stuck energy and having energy that's just low vibrational, or that's just very stiff, guys, that's one thing I'm noticing about myself every day now. So now whenever I'm in one corner, if I just it comes in my mind now, I do 10 squats, down, jump, not for my body, it's literally to have movement and to stay. I don't want to be a cement brick. You know what I mean? To stay in that flow of energy. And I mean, I told you, I've touched on it before, people that do this acrobatic stuff and they can just jump out of nowhere. Those are people that have very light energy bodies. And that's the spot you want to be, where it's just like freedom. What else did I write here? It's about, yeah, if you extended your boundaries for many of us. Yes. This all, like every single thing we go against what we truly know within our soul causes a bit more karmic issue here for everyone involved in it, including the fact that you extend your boundaries. No, if you would just stick to your boundaries, things would come much easier. And I know that for a fact, not just because I've learned that, but because from people I have watched and listened to and read for, whatever the situation may be, or had life experiences with. I mean, I've spoke on it before. One of my long time ago catalysts, I knew who his twin flame was. Back then, we didn't know about those terminologies. I just knew that person, they were supposed to be together. I could tell by looking at them. And anyhow, what happened is he, as a man, was the same man. This is many years ago. So he was still a cheater. He was still a this and a that. And you know what? This girl didn't put up with it. She left. And so he came back after her, like totally went for her, because she left, and she left for a long period of time, and he gave her a long period of time too, because he was a player. He came back, they ended up living together, and he still fucked up. And you know what she did? She left for good. I don't know if they're back together now. Who knows what happened? Maybe now, after 10 years, maybe now he's a different man. Maybe now he can actually see what he had. Sometimes there has to be that much space. But then you get to be with your person. And if you look at it on the bright side, you kind of get to have a whole other life before that. I know it doesn't sound like extra bright, but I think it's kind of cool that you could possibly have a life with someone, and naturally that might end up changing, and you don't stay stuck there when it changes. You go with the flow, and maybe then your person gets brought back in, because maybe right now is just not the time. So I was thinking of, what can you do to kind of look at this in a different point of view? And what I came up with is to make a list, and to make a list of what your ideal divine feminine would look like or be, or what you would look at the divine feminine as, and make a list and see what you think of your karmic. So I wrote examples because I want to give you a good example. Some of you might this is exactly what I'm talking about. So some of you might be looking down on the karmic, judging her because she's staying in an unhappy relationship. She's staying with a man that doesn't give her attention. She stays with a cheater. She wants money. She wants security. She wants an easy life. She is a negative energy. Some of you are definitely saying this. Some of you are saying she does witchcraft and spells and she's obsessed. But so what the whole point of the list is to look at it and see how that relates to you. For example, first of all, she's with a man who's not giving her attention. Some of us, let's say, are with a person that has ghosted them for a very long time, right? So, why is she the bad one for sticking around with someone that's not giving her attention, probably still with her, but not giving her real attention? For example, some of you say she wants security and money. Well, is there anything really wrong with that? But point being, okay, so if you're saying she's using him for the money, look at yourself and just make sure, what are you doing so you don't have to be in that position? So in other words, kind of take a look and just reflect it back on yourself and really look at it. And that first one, I think it was, that one was a big one, because it's she's staying in an unhappy relationship. Well, how happy are you right now? So this is why you're confused. Am I a karmic? For some of you that have made those comments, am I a karmic? I feel like a karmic. It's because you're doing karmic behavior. And we're trying to ascend to higher purpose. So I'm going to pull from this deck. It's a pretty dark deck, and see what comes up. It's not just a dark deck, and that's the thing. It can tell us about our karma, what people are dealing with. Not every card is a bad card. but there's the other side energy to it, okay? We will have them in pain and suffering. Truth guardian, that's a good point. And I'll tell you, when I met my masculine, I never would say I think a twin flame union should be of pain and suffering, though many other readers I speak to, they feel like, oh, this is like the it's your opposite. But yeah, my twin is definitely my opposite, but never would he put me down, touch me. Like, if I even ever put him down, he wouldn't talk to me for who knows how long, maybe a very long time, because it's rude. And it's just like, he believes in integrity of like in choosing your words. But I'll tell you, this is where it gets messed up, is when you're not really like happy and you're still there. Now, I'm not saying people need to move on and go have relationships with people, not at all. But what I am saying is you truly have to get energetically happy. And you can do it. I promise you, you can heal your illnesses by doing this. If you could truly express your truth and live by it, I promise you, you would, for some of you, wake up feeling 1,000 times better the next day, because it will have cleared energy and blockages from you. So no, I don't feel like twin flames are supposed to be abusive, hurtful. I don't. Personally, I don't. I do believe that we hurt ourselves by continually poking at someone or something or a situation. And then sometimes, someone just explodes or disappears or ghosts. And I get it, because I've been there. And as a woman and as a Gemini, like, I don't know if everyone else gets these things, but we truly are in our head. And for me personally, even the seasons do affect me. So it's really important for me to keep moving, to keep busy. Otherwise, I might put some of my own anger or my own energy, is a good way to put it, my own energy onto the other person, and then blame him for him reflecting it right back to me. So I think a lot of that comes with self-respect and truly respecting your boundaries. And to be honest, I think if someone crosses your boundaries, personally, it doesn't have to really offend you, because you can be like, okay, he crossed the boundaries. Now I'm going to go I'm going to not put my attention there. And, goes with what I was saying. I once had someone who was a really nice guy. I actually bumped into him yesterday, and it was so nice catching up with him. He was a good friend, but he liked me. And so this is what happened, I'll tell you. And I was like, you know what? He's a really nice guy. Maybe I should at least get to know him. This is years ago. So I gave him a chance. I'm like, okay, sure, come by. Like, we'll go get a drink. Back then I used to drink. So I'm like, we'll go grab a beer, whatever. And he's like, okay, didn't show up. The next time, which was pretty much like a couple days later or the next day, same thing. And then because I didn't really, really like him, I think I maybe gave him one more chance at the time. Like, I gave him chances because I wanted to hang out, and I'm like, oh, he's busy or whatever. And he did it again. So anyhow, because I didn't have feelings for him, but also I had respect for myself and my boundaries, and it was really easy when I didn't have progressive feelings for him, I just stopped talking to him. And he texts here, he texts there. Then all of a sudden, the texts started adding up every day. I never responded. Then it started going to phone calls. Then it started going to leaving messages. And that's all because I followed my boundaries. And I do think a lot of us, because when we get into that feeling of love, we forget to follow our boundaries. And that I've done it. I do it every time pretty much, I'm no better. But I definitely look back, even I reflect back every once in a while. And I already know I could have had this storyline I'm dealing with a total different way had I set my boundaries from the beginning and stuck to them like I often used to. But when you're in that feeling of someone and you're like, I've never felt this before, it's a little bit more challenging, and I failed the challenge. So now I'm catching up by having to learn these lessons and go through this. And not saying my journey would have been shortened. I'm not saying that at all. I think everything's happen the way it's supposed to be, because I wasn't ready for, taking on the challenge. That's a while ago, but I'm just saying this is to relate this to everyone here. The video title, yeah, it's because that's what this is about. Anyhow, okay, sorry, I'm not going to read all that. Hi, Sandra, thanks for being here. So I'm pulling out a karmic energy for our karma, like for everyone's karma. Like, what's the big thing? What's keeping us allowing someone to step on our boundaries, allowing, for some of you, someone's really putting you down. But I swear to you, this one vibe I get, when the person's putting you down or physically hurting you, it's on you. And it is, because like when the person's putting you down, don't talk to them for a very long time. But the thing is, they might call you, or they might drive by, or they might, like my ex used to just show up 6 months later. And this is my ex, and at the time, because I don't move on quickly, right? I was just taking time to myself. It's not like I had moved on. So when he would show up, I would be like, whoa, like he took the time to show up and to do all this and all that. And like, maybe I should give him a chance. And no, I shouldn't have. But that's a challenge, another challenge, right? So I'm pretty sure this card will relate to many of us, just looking at it. What I pick up off of this is just a woman that's in her feelings. And it's okay to be in your feelings, to take a whole day if you have to and if you're able to, because not everyone's even able to. And if you are able to, be really grateful for that. Sometimes I just look at my life and I'm like, I'm so grateful that I don't have to stress the way I used to when I was younger, and like be at work at 7 a.m. to do some shitty job that depleted my energy. And maybe some of you are feeling like that, and that doesn't help. If you're feeling like that, that should be your main focus, is to get out of that shitty job that's draining your energy. If you're feeling like that, because you're no good to no one. Until then, you're going to be a sad case until you fix your own life, your own self, right? And there's nothing better than doing it on your own. So let's see what the book says. I brought the book for this and I opened it right to the page. So look at just what I was saying, right? If you need space, take it. This is the sound of the inner sea. Rest, meditate, stop. There are periods in our life when we need to withdraw, rest, sleep, meditate, and give ourselves time to reevaluate. Take a look at what you are currently doing. How busy has your life been of lately? Give yourself permission to stop and reflect. For many of you, the real busy part of your life is your mind. You're in your head, okay? And I'm serious. I know. If you're in your head and you're able to, it's better to just sleep. Take time out to do what you choose to do. Step out of the rat race for a day or even a few hours. If this is not possible, just breathe. Guys, I just literally said, if you can do this, do this. I mean, the fact that it's getting reiterated, it's a huge message for all of us. Nurturing yourself is important at this time. If you feel this is an indulgent task, then think again. At this moment, the most important person is you. There is no need to answer other people's demands. You must put boundaries in place before you burn yourself out. Take heed with this card. You need rest and deep sleep. Do not feel guilty for taking breathing space. This is a big message there, okay? Once out of it, can finish serving it. Those who still want it can keep it. Yeah. I mean, the thing is with these cords tied, yeah. And there are too many people tied to suffering. And I actually, when I bumped into that person yesterday, I love this, that I get messages sent to me through people. So we took a drive. Like, he's like, Jen, I got to go somewhere. It's going to take 5 minutes. You want to come with me? Sure. Because this is like he really was my friend. And even though he liked me afterwards, a few months later, I had actually just showed up one day as a friend. And then ever since then, we've just been friends, like really good friends, like family friends too. So anyhow, I took a drive with him through our old neighborhood, and our old neighborhood has not changed whatsoever. He still lives there. I don't. And there's places in that neighborhood I wouldn't go to even if I did live there, but it still felt comfortable to me. And, he went into the store, came back, and I was like, something about this neighborhood feels comfortable to me. And he's like, Jen, he's like, nothing about this neighborhood is comfortable. He's like, you're just comfortable here. And I was blown away. I didn't tell him that. But what the message I got when he said that is that a lot of the feminines are very comfortable being uncomfortable or in discomfort. And for some reason, we're able to stay there for so long. This is actually related to abuse mentality, if you really think about it, because and maybe it's also empathic mentality because we can relate. So I don't know. Because if you think about it, when you're uncomfortable in a situation, you should be leaving. When everything is not that good around you, because when I really looked at the neighborhood, okay, everything's still the same as 20 years ago. It's still worn down. It's not getting any better. Like crackheads everywhere, lady walking around, a street lady walking around in the daytime, basically naked. And she's been I've seen her my whole life. I know her. I know who she, like, I don't know her, but I know, like, the whole city knows her. Still there, but it's just like not that part exactly, but just driving through the neighborhood, to me, I was just like home in a sense. And when he said that, he lives there. So I found it really interesting that he said it's not comfortable at all. Like, you're just comfortable. And a lot of us, we can be comfortable in really harsh, extreme situations, which is not necessarily healthy. It does go back to childhood, and when I think about it, actually, when I see that, I think about it because I remember once my mom, this guy she married at the city hall, like very quick. And the day she married him, he started beating her. And so we went home and he started beating her. And I was sitting on the chair. It's so interesting that came. So I was literally sitting there on the chair crying, and he like pushed the chair. And once he pushed the chair, like, my mom was okay with getting beaten. But once he pushed the chair on me, then we left right away, called the police, never went back ever. But she was going to just put up with that until he touched me. And then that's what was crossing the line to her big time. But she was extremely comfortable there. But, I'm saying, like, it doesn't matter if it happened to you directly. There's things that you were around or that you saw that keep you in a feeling that you don't deserve. They keep you in kick ass, to be honest. I love you. I love what you guys thought it too. I don't know what that person said. It got erased. I don't know, but thank you. Back to that. Yeah, it keeps you. And I even read someone who admitted publicly, like today, out of our group of friends, just a message. And she said she deals with issues of feeling unloved. This girl is like a supermodel. She is like an internet model girl. I never would have thought that, because she's actually very unique and very different and very like out there. And she's saying she deals with the feeling of like not feeling worthy of being celebrated. She didn't want to tell anyone it was her birthday, and her friends ended up throwing her a beautiful surprise party. But even her, the most, like, I'm not saying she's the most beautiful. She's not the most beautiful. She's very unique and beautiful and shines right through her, like, soul, comes right through her. And she even had these feelings of doubt and unworthiness. So this is all part of the reason why you're feeling like this karmic energy, because you're doing things that we know the karmics do. And does it make you any better? No, it doesn't make you any better. At least we're becoming aware of that. And it's an everyday thing. Every day. Okay, I'm going to read the card on the bottom. This has to do with someone. I know that already. Like someone needs this message. The empty tomb of love. Regret, change, and moving forward. There is a feeling of loss. Whether this is physical or emotional, you must remember that whatever major change happens in your life, there is always hope. Sometimes the light at the end of the tunnel feels distant, but rest assured you will get there. Whatever age you are, this is a childlike innocence about you. It is. It's the innocent side of you that still feels the unworthiness, and that's the most beautiful part of you. It is okay to feel sad and lost, but it is important we do not stay in that mind frame for too long. Life is full of changes, and each day will bring a unique experience. If you feel the angels are not listening, you are wrong. They are here and wait for you to ask for help. They are here and they're waiting for you to ask for help. Of course, they will never take away your free will, but will always help to guide you through times of despair. Just remember, nothing stays the same forever. That reminds me, it's always said by many people. I hope everyone's okay on there. It's always said by many people that when you ask your angels to help, you also have to allow permission for them to help you. I do it sometimes. I do say that. I should probably say it every time anyways, just to cover all grounds. But there could be some truth to that. Maybe you're asking your guardians to help you with something really big, and they're like, well, are you sure? Like, are you signing on the dotted line? And then if you are you going to actually take what we offer you? Bye, Ram. Way easy. No one's better than you, and truth guardians don't take it negative, flip it. Don't take it negative, flip it. Truth guardians. Oh, I don't know what truth guardians was saying, but thank you for, I guess, I guess it wasn't nice. So let's see what comes out. So the first card to come out is like actually one of the best cards of the whole deck, some readers would say. It's an amazing card because of the fact, and underneath we have total energy here of coming in slow but strong. What is it? A gift? But for me personally, when I look at it, see, I'm just going to lay these cards out. I'm going to put this down so you guys can kind of see, I think, better that way. Yeah. So when I look at these cards all together like this, you see, this is the thing. This is actually quite amazing. I wonder if you guys can see it better like this. Because look at this. There's this Knight of Pentacles. Let's just consider him an energy, okay? And this is the energy of the Eight of Wands. Now, this is moving towards this Queen of Cups. Behind this Knight of Pentacles is this huge pentacle, this huge gift. And it's taking its time to come in. And on top of that, you don't see the size when it comes. Remember that, okay? I just heard the big things come in small packages. Remember that, because I just heard that saying, and I don't say that silly little saying, but I mean, I'm sure there's truth to it. You don't see the size, and it's taking its time, but it's coming in. It's a sure thing. This is actually in regards to love and happiness and enjoyment and abundance in love. And it's coming towards, kind of goes with everything we're saying, this Queen of Cups who has the lid shut. It's almost as though she's not even ready to receive it yet. She's not open to receiving it. And I'm just getting the reference to, they say if you want like love, like put yourself out there. And it doesn't mean you're going to, you're going to date. Let's just say put yourself out there to date. If you're looking for a new person in your life, go out there, go on an actual date. How do you expect to meet new people? It doesn't mean that you're going to meet someone on these dates. You probably won't like most of the people you meet on these dates. But the point is you're open to receiving. So it's an energy thing, and you're opening your energy up to receiving. Many of you, look at this. You've turned your back to love. You've turned your back on love. The Three of Wands, the Ten of Cups. You've turned your back because you've experienced it. It's like, yeah, I had love. I saw where it got me. I saw what it got me. I saw what happened. Some of you have full-blown marriages and full-blown relationships, and it still ended. You still just were left alone. So you're like, closing that, what just came out here. So the Four of Cups, when the Four of Cups comes out like this with this type of a message, it's interesting. I said already, you don't see it. Because when the Four of Cups comes out with a message like this, you don't see it. You're looking at something else when something is coming in for you that is huge. So there is an issue here with some of the feminines and the level of energy or the type of energy they're having or the resistance they're expressing, because things aren't happening the exact way you want it. Some of you, it's the person that walked away and you're so set on having them come back. And there's nothing wrong with really wanting that person back in your life, but this is probably not the time. If this is the person, well, then they're taking their time for some reason, but they're coming in strong. Whoever this is, whatever energy this is coming in, it will come. It's like the arrows are pointing right at her. Like it will get you. You cannot miss it. This cannot miss you. The way it's laid out and planned out, this won't miss you. You might be too busy there, like, oh, there's that cup again. There's that hand again. What's that little thing it has in there? Oh, that little cup. And you might be like, yeah, oh, it has that little cup. Oh, well, I already had a big cup before and it still failed. That little cup is a new beginning. It's like a fresh start at everything you want, to be honest. It's a clean slate. But it's not about the actual cup. It's like your chance to make it a clean slate. Okay? And where I get any of this information from, I've been getting back into meditation, and I'm literally sitting there. You see, like, this is how I am. Like, look at these pages. They're barely even readable. I've told you before, I have very bad writing. Only I can read it. It's like a friggin' special cubic code or whatever. But I sit here and I think about it. And I've been there, right? So I put myself in other people's shoes and I ask myself questions. That card came out real interesting. Whoa. And we're back here where I had just saw before I spoke. So this is the death card that just popped out. I'm going to put this down lower again, so hopefully you guys can see what's going on here. I really need a better setup here because this is a really interesting storyline showing up now. Because the first thing that actually is coming to mind when I see this is about Scorpio season. And it's about revival. Rebirth, I guess. I don't know. I thought I heard revival, but I wonder, I know Mercury retrograde is in effect, or it will be, because my speech is gone off. Like, it's gone off. And it's been pretty good for a few months at least. But why I'm saying that is because in Mercury retrograde, things come around. And, I'm not talking about your person just yet. Like, look at the Queen. We have the Queen of Cups here, or the Queen of Pentacles here. I'm so tempted to sit it here underneath the Queen of Cups, but I'm not. I'm not going to. I'm just going to take this note. This gift is coming in. There's something coming in. It could literally be the gift of a new energy. But the gift almost of you getting back your old energy, the clean slate. Remember I told you guys about the water I'm doing with the rosemary and all this stuff? It's about cleaning. It's like decalcifying. Everyone talks about this, right? Decalcification. I don't know much about it, but I know it sounds right to me. The last couple of days, what I've put in maybe an hour and a half of meditation, and I'm already getting messages. My dreams are like, I can't believe that dream I had yesterday. By the way, I did do a VIMEO reading on the Karmic, and the message is that the masculine has taken on a father role with the Karmic. So if you think you're the Karmic, well, here's a good way to check that. Like, is the masculine your father? You know, is he taking on that type of role? Because from the cards I pulled, and not only is the masculine taking on the father role with the Karmic situation, he actually is debilitating his Karmic person from growth. And it's actually quite a disrespectful move. And when I did pull the cards, like, I felt that. I felt like you're almost not being an honorable man by debilitating the Karmic by having this father-daughter role. So we did the reading yesterday, and I did, this morning was the first reading I did. It's an hour long. It's on Vimeo. If I remember, I'll put the link, but the link is on the past video I did today. So there's something coming your way energetically, and it's almost like a rebirth, an ending of the old, that fresh slate that I'm talking about here with the death card and the birth here, the sun. And like the queen of, if I would put this card down, she would be right here receiving it. And it would almost be like this cup the lid has been lifted off, and now she has this gift. And what's this gift? This gift is of anything and everything, including love. I'm not taking two cards. We've had such a clean reading. We're just going to keep it clean. Once they face up, I feel like I have to. And let's just see what we got here. Well, we have a total. Well, why am I saying total masculine energy? Well, because I'm seeing here the King of Cups tied here. So technically, here's our king, right? But guess what we're dealing with? We're dealing with someone finally hearing the truth, someone finally going forward with the truth. It's the Judgment card, the King of Swords with his sword upright, his eyes dead center, the Magician. Is there another card here? No. And the Temperance. And all I'm noticing with the Temperance is her taking that step. And with the Magician taking that powerful step forward towards the truth. Hearing the truth doesn't mean that I'm not saying he's getting a divorce, because here it's showing, this person is tied. But this is about someone hearing the truth. At least they're hearing it. Let's be thankful. What's the truth is that he does want to take a step forward. He does want to take his power back. Most likely with this sword, he does want to cut out a lot. But this person is tied. So never mind this person. I mean, because you have something coming in for you. Clearly there's this side message they want you to know. This person is tied. They're hearing the truth. It's one step at a time. Great. Let them deal with that. Eventually it will get dealt with. Just like your situation too. Look at that. The reason it will get dealt with is because if you're meant to be somewhere, if someone's meant to come back, we have the Six of Cups here. Look at this, right? If someone's meant to come back and they're taking not too long, they're taking long, they're sticking in something they're stuck in, I'm going to say, I wanted to say 9 times out of 10, and that's way too high. Okay, so let's just say 7 times out of 10. Something happens that forces things to go in a new direction. Whether or not it goes in the right direction or what we consider the right direction, something happens. So we have a pure angelic story here that you can't even make up. There's something coming back, and it's not even, really, no matter what way I want to read these cards, I got to say there's something coming back. There's someone coming back. There's an energy coming back to you. Maybe this is talking about a relationship being re-energized with the rebirth under the 8 of Wands. This gift that it may not look as big as it is when you first see it. Like, look at even under this pentacle, this Knight of Pentacles is the sun. This gift is huge that's coming your way. This gift really can be about you remembering your true self. And I almost want to say, like, setting those boundaries you need to set, doing that work you need to do on a fresh, clean slate. Realizing and being grateful for everything. Let's just say these situations are karmic, or, we got involved with someone with some really shitty karma and we walk away. Let's just say this message could be for any one of us. Taking the power back, taking that step, hearing the message from that judgment card. I always notice the trumpet when there's a trumpet in there, and we go away. Let's just say that that's what happens, and we disappear from this toxicity. Well, I think all of us can say we've learned so much on this journey that it was 1,000% worth it. I know some people have stayed in the journey very, very long. Very long. 10 of Cups. Karmic card. It was over and you stayed in. This could be with your person or with the person you were with for however long. You stayed stuck. You stayed hung in the situation. That can be going any way, this message. No matter what, even if you stayed in a karmic situation, and even if you did it for 10 years, you learned so many lessons. It's not even funny. And if you had the strength to unhang yourself and get out, that means you really learned the lessons. Tower. The tower will come if you don't learn the lessons. So either way, right? And one thing, what song was playing? I don't know where I was, but it was a Take It Easy song. It's maybe like Tom Petty or something. I don't know. I don't know the names of those old singers, like the olden day singers, but I know the songs because you hear them growing up, right? So Take It Easy. Don't let the sound of your own wheel drive you crazy. I remember I was listening. I have gotten so many messages and songs, especially today too. But don't let the sound of your own wheels drive you crazy. Take it easy. And there was another song about like, we got it good. So I don't know if it's in that song, the line, but I remember thinking to myself, if we can walk down the street and feel pretty safe, we got it good. Because there's places I couldn't just go walk down the street, or you couldn't just go walk down the street. There's places no one can walk down the street because there's a war, or who knows what else, toxic chemicals in the air. I'm really starting to think we don't even know everything that's going on, in the sense like there could be actually some really big shit happening right now. And I bet you there is, obviously, that's silly. And we don't even know, because how would we know? First of all, I don't even watch TV or listen to the news. And second of all, that is all censored. I know that there's some big rallies going on in Hong Kong, I believe, and I saw a picture. And when I saw the picture, I thought it was a movie. And I had to look at the picture in the comments, and it's actually what's going on. And it's like bombs, tear gas, people running with guns and all of this masks, and it's actually happening. And these people are fighting for what they believe in, and that is huge, because at least they're fighting. I can't say that that will happen the same everywhere around the world. I hope now people are more, I hope, like, things probably have to get real bad, but I would hope people start realizing that you kind of have to take a chance and maybe fight for what you want sometimes. Not talking about going excessive in relationships. I'm talking about like actually collective world issues. Fight for your freedom of speech, freedom of choice, everything we deserve. And we do deserve that. So yeah, no matter how long and who it was, you, the karmic, the masculine, the whoever, the mother, the fathers, some of you stuck in these long relationships that were long over. Instead of going in, painting that new picture, you just stuck there. You stuck there painting over the old picture. And a message I'm getting is, don't baby your situation. Don't baby it. Yes, we all have childhood issues one way or another, but don't feel sorry for your person. You know what people think, like, they'll think like, that person, you had such a bad childhood. I know you had such a rough childhood. And in your mind, you're like, I had the best childhood ever. Like, what are you talking about? That goes back to this comfort energy where we've been comfortable in bad situations. But what I'm saying is, don't do that to someone. Don't be like, your childhood was so rough. You turned out so good for being in set. No. I don't know why that message is coming up. For some of you, maybe you're babying your person. I don't know, that message is coming up. Well, for that to be the only karmic card that comes out right now, that's really beautiful. This karmic card is for the karmics. Okay? So this message I have for you is for you. And the reason that there's nothing that wants to come out in this deck, besides the King of Cups sticking out here again with this 10 of Cups situation over, is because this isn't a karmic reading. This is for people that are doubting themselves. And really all you have to do is start setting boundaries and following your own internal integrity. Will that bring your person back? I don't know. It's bringing something in. You have something coming in regardless, and it looks a lot smaller than it is. It's something that died from the past, that's coming back from the past. You may be shut off. You got to open up. You got to open up. Don't be like, oh, another cup again. No, don't be like, oh, another cup again. So guys, if you need to know or want to know about the situation, the father-daughter situation that I picked up on, and it's unbelievable. The reading is an hour. And like, honestly, I was so into it because it was almost annoying. But I can't pass judgment. But I think some of the masculines don't realize that they're actually like this. In my dream, what I saw is a kid that, because I had to sit there and really think about my dream because it was so detailed. And when I came on here, I had just had it, right? Because I had it in the morning, like right away. But I thought about it through the whole day and I kept on thinking about it. And the thing was, like, the seatbelt was over her because he had to take the seatbelt off. She didn't know how to do that. The little girl was so happy, like, hi. But she didn't know it's time to get out of the car. It's time to go to class or whatever. This man had to do everything, but she wasn't even a little girl. She was a woman. It's so hard. But I clarified it. I did everything in there in the Vimeo. But yeah, so the fact that that's what's going on in some of the relationships is crazy. And it actually had a really big twist to it because it goes back to the mother, which is really bizarre. And it made sense while I was doing the reading, but it does go back to the mother. So then we bring the mother energy into it. And the card that came out from the big deck, holy smoly, it was like, it's really deep. But that's not for everyone, and not everyone's going to care about that message. But that is a huge message for some, especially for the ones who have someone in a karmic situation without kids, especially those ones. The reason they don't have kids is because they have a kid. It's called the karmic. She's this big human being, adult kid. So it's part of the reason they don't have kids. Like they already have a father-daughter role. And then for some of them, they have kids and have this other kid that's basically an adopted kid, which isn't a grown-up adult. So yeah, it was really interesting. Thank you all. I hope that this answered some of your questions. I hope it helped you. I did my best. It's not really the type of topic I love to sit here and talk on, but the reading that came out was actually quite lovely. Whether it be an actual human being or an energy that returns to you, who knows? It's the pentacle. And that's why I love the pentacle, because it can be anything, but I do feel it's always good and the upright. And the way it was behind the knight with the small pentacle, this is something you're not going to know how big it is. Maybe the ending of whatever's happening now has such a big outcome because of it, because you're releasing. Maybe hearing this alone. Sometimes people get readings with me, and I don't know if it's just the calming effect or whatever it is. Maybe it's the affirmation effect that I understand what's happening, but they start getting results right away. So maybe this is that type of a reading, because I feel that we got really deep. So it's kind of like a personal reading for many of you. Make that list. Just make that list for the fun of it, and just see. You could say like what you have, what traits you have in your own way similar to the karmic. You want security too. But also, what are you doing to make sure you have it in a healthy way? That's one part where, there's a difference. And make sure you do that. Make sure you do take care of yourself and put yourself in a secure position. Nothing's really secure, but as secure as you can make it, with what you got. Work with what you got. You're welcome, Kitty. And thank you all so much. I really appreciate your comments and even the donations I'm getting. That's very kind. And I do try to get back to most of you. I love having a schedule. I love having a website. Now you can book on my website. I have a schedule. It's just, I can't even explain how nice it is. I actually feel like I have more time, which is really weird, because now I have to go and do the work like at the perfect time. But yeah, it feels good. So, I have time to come on here and do this in between readings, and I love it. Feels really good. Okay, bye guys. Yeah, if you can like the video, I would really appreciate it. And sure, next time we'll talk about codependency, but that's really in the Vimeo video as well, because the karmic is the child. Ooh, my dream, when I can't stop thinking about it, the reason being is the karmic was being so debilitated by the relationship. It was disturbing. It was so disturbing, and that I cannot stop thinking about it. So, and I say, like, don't put yourself in that position, because this child woman couldn't even walk, and she was so wise, but she was a child, so she wasn't really that wise. She was just innocent and naive. It was very bizarre. You know how children have that childlike wisdom because they're just so happy, and that's the thing. All that the karmic knew how to do, this is one important thing about it. All the karmic really knew how to do was smile and be like happy. She was happy, but it was almost because she was slow. Like she never had to deal with a real issue in her life. So it's really interesting how that all came out in the video. But yeah, anyways, bye guys. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really sad for her because she deserves, we're not supposed to be trying to make people that can't do for themselves. And that's not what the masculine's trying to do, but it is explained how he got himself in that position. And they're there. They're there. So if you feel you're in that spot, this is a time to go. It's a time to go within, as that card said. The one masculine card of the deck is at the top. The one true masculine card, but to rest and to sleep. And do it again and again and again until you feel a little bit better. And then, one thing I say too is get some water and filter it if you can, like in whatever way. Like just get your water in you. Like start rehydrating your body. You guys look up the difference of people who drink like 3 liters of water a day. Go look at the before and afters. You see the difference. I could definitely do that. I drink maybe 2 or 3 glasses right now. But point being, just start small, start with sleep. From what I heard, it's more important to start with your food than working out, because your food will give you the energy to work out when you're coming out of these steps of needing this rest. So you start by nourishing yourself. Water, I think, is great to get everything going, and keep up the water, keep up the food, and then start getting into the gym or start walking or start bouncing around wherever you can. Do what you can. Just go, like when you're at the mall, or I don't know where you would see a set of stairs, the subway. Try to you know how you like used to go up the stairs when you're a kid and you just like used to bounce up the stairs. Try to do that now. It's not that it's impossible, but it takes you even like a trial to get back into that flow. I say try to get back to that energy of the past, that happy energy that you remember having, and that flowing energy. And for those of you that work out, amazing. My brother's wife, she has her Instagram, and she has this program she runs. She's worked out since she had the baby. She works out, I don't know since when, but I know she's done over 100 workouts. The baby's a few months old. She has this program she follows, and it has, I think it's $200 for the year. I have to actually look at it because I got it and I looked at it when she was here, but I have to do it. And there's one of the programs on there has 100 videos itself. And it's a mixture of yoga and other things, and you do it at home, no equipment needed. And she's done it every day. Sometimes she works out 3 times a day, and she is looking amazing as a person. She's glowing, and it's just from getting movement. And when she first had her baby, she was very depressed because she's not used to that. She's used to doing whatever she wants, right? And she had a baby, and the baby cried a lot. So it took some getting used to. But once she got in the flow now, and she's on her schedule and working out, I think she's going to miss going back to work when she goes back to work. But yeah, so just get in the flow because movement helps so much. I promise you. Okay, bye guys. Hi, Gina. Talk soon. Bye for now.